growing up was basically, for me, a bunch of adults looking uncomfortably at each other whenever I did anything. I remember when I was very, very little, and I know this because of my grandmother, I'm running after a pack of guys. Like, we are little kids, and we're playing in the neighborhood, and they're like, no, you can't play with us. I'm like, yes, I can. And they said, no, you can't, you're a girl. And I said, no, I'm not, I'm a boy. There was a substitute teacher in the 5th grade. I'm 10 years old. And this lady's calling off everybody's name, and she calls mine off, and I raise my hand here, and she says, she looks at her sheet, and she says, well, that's a funny name for a boy. And the whole class erupts with laughter. Everybody is dying, and I start laughing partially out of self-preservation, but also because I thought it was kind of funny. It was a really complicated moment for me because on the one hand I felt a little humiliated that everybody's laughing at this situation, and on the other hand I'm thinking, this lady thinks I'm a boy. And then I immediately think to myself, and that felt good that this lady thought I was a boy, and then I'm thinking to myself, this lady is nuts. Like, I threw it all away. I was like, this isn't something I can attach myself to. And when puberty happened, that was just it. I was like, well, there is no such thing as Santa Claus. I'm not going to wake up and be a boy. I need to let go of this because it isn't a possibility. This is not possible. My last bout with Naptown was November of 2012. I was having a hard time with this idea of being on a women's team. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't making sense, and I had this impending feeling of, hey, I have this gender issue that I need to sort out, and I'm not going to get it sorted out while I'm playing women's roller derby. Everybody was really kind and very supportive. I got a lot of hugs and a lot of high fives, and it's been great. I've been working with Naptown and coaching, and I've continued ever since. This is especially for our people who haven't done this before. Okay, good. Go! Nice. Derby is often practiced in warehouse spaces because it's available. And so you roll up in your car to a warehouse that's been cooking in the sun, and you open up this door, and it's dark, and it's hot, and it's humid. It's like walking into a pizza oven. It's hard, I get it, but one of the ways that makes it easier is make it a tighter circle around the cone. The Race City Rebels is Indianapolis's first and premier men's roller derby league. As soon as I came out, and as soon as it was clear that I wasn't coming back to Naptown, different rebels would come into the store and say, hey, so are you going to start playing with us? Are you going to join? One of the best things about roller derby, there is no ladies' tee. So it's the exact same sport, it's the exact same rules, it's just played by men. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where it's like having a cleft palate. It's going to be like being born with something that just needs to, you get this, that, and the other fixed, and parent will be able to describe this and see this in detail. Parents are getting more education. Kids are getting their voices are being heard. People know what to do now. Like, hey, my kid is insisting that he's a she, so what do I do next? And there are resources for parents. I read the comments. I'm a comment reader. I know what people think. At least what people say they think when they're talking anonymously to their computer. And I think we've got a long way to go. How do we accept people who come to it later in life, who legitimately come to it later in life? Hopefully we treat them well, right?